Hi, everyone. It's Mike Todd from Transform Philanthropy. And today I want to leave you just a short message. And I want to reiterate a couple of points that I've spoken about before. But I find myself these days, these last several weeks, this is literally the only thing I'm talking about with nonprofit executives. The first one is the donor advised fund is the fastest growing way to give in Canada and the US, and apparently, I'm told, in the UK. Point number two, DAF grants are a recession-resistant revenue stream. And as I said, I've talked about both of those points before, but given the interesting times, let's put it that way, the interesting times we find ourselves living in, I think these 2 points are increasingly critical for your organization. First of all, let's talk about the DAF being the fastest growing way to give. I think by the end of this year, two things will have proven to be true. One, unfortunately, is that the number of donors is dropping. I think there'll be fewer people giving to charity this year. Two, is that the donor advised fund will remain the fastest growing way to give. So when you put these two things together, you literally cannot ignore this. Your organization cannot ignore these facts. This is where the donors are going. More and more of them who still have capacity to give are moving towards donor advised funds as the way to give. And you can't ignore that. It's simply too important, as I said, especially now. The second point, DAFs as a recession-resistant revenue stream. The same two things are going to be true. The number of donors is dropping. The DAF is continuing to grow. And the important thing to keep in mind is that money committed to a DAF is already gone. The donor has committed it to philanthropy. They cannot have it back. It can only go to a nonprofit, and it's halfway there. It's just now on you to be able to attract it to your organization in support of your mission. And so the job is, in a sense, halfway done. The beauty of this, though, is when you reflect back on the donor, I have the ability to give you a grant today, and listen to what I'm saying here, and you can hear the air quotes as I say it, but it's as if it doesn't cost me a cent. I don't open my wallet. I don't write you a check. I simply ask the DAF sponsor to send a little bit of my DAF money onto your organization. There's no pain. There's no separation anxiety because, as I said, I dealt with all that last week or perhaps last year, whatever the date was. I put money into my DAF at another time. It's already gone. It's already out of my bank account, and I don't feel anything now except happiness when I request a grant go to your organization. So, fastest growing way to give, yes. Number of donors is dropping, unfortunately, yes. And let me tell you, I truly believe that if your charity or nonprofit does not have a comprehensive DAF strategy as part of their overall fundraising strategy, particularly in these times, I think you're at a loss, and I think you're going to have a tough challenge to make your numbers this year. This is simple, but it's critical. And I just wanted to reinforce those points with you today and encourage you to think about that. And if you want to chat more about it, I would be happy to do that with you. Just reach out. But thanks for listening and have a good day.